All right, spotlight game, take 15. We keep having issues with the volume disappearing during the game, so
It's being
we're
racist.
going to go as quick as we can. We got a G3, which is
I think she should have gone C6.
C6 would have been the better idea. The signal's a light square attack,
Get a bishop.
and I have no problem with knight f6. But once we see D3, we know what they're trying to do. They're trying to do the king's Indian attack, which it can be passive or aggressive, depending on the knight's movement, if it's going to go to f3, if it's going to go to e2. And they're trying to control the d5 square. And when you do that, that's how you know whether or not a person is advanced in their abilities, because they know if white knows it can get d5 under control, it control most of black openings. And a6 was early played. Should have been a bishop e7, or even you could move the knight. And I do understand the London on that side of the board, but there had been too many moves. You could have easily played d6, blocking that bishop, and had it still been in good shape, had been a variation of the Sicilian that's just fine, solid. So e4 signaled the king's Indian attack all the way through, and now we have a passive variation of the king's Indian attack. Queen c7 is too early. Bishop e7 moving better because it didn't stop any attack by the dark square bishop attacking the queen, or threatening the knight with a g5 move that could have threatened double pawns. Castle. There's the bishop. That's what we needed. There's that attack on the queen, like I had said a minute ago. And d6 was the move because e5 creates a weakness.
Yeah, D6.
Right here.
Yeah, because then the knight can come in and threaten your bishop on e7 and your queen on c7.
Yep. So we got a constant weakness at the rest of this game. That's going to be on the d5 square.
Because he ain't going to go nowhere.
And once again, we have interruptions from notifications of things that we don't care about. So, yeah, more commercials. We pause for the station identification. People really want some attention in life. So,
sorry, we're just really fed up with the stupid thing right now.
Bishop pullback. It's a temple surrender to black. Now the dark square bishop is very limited. I get the pen created here. H3 is the right play. Pulling back, you cannot. If they push down, G4 is the right move. No, G4 is the right move. Reason why is because even if black exchanges the knight.
No, I'm saying for bishop. Black bishop, go to e6.
You want this black bishop to jump to a white square.
The white bishop.
Can't go there right now. Oh, draw back and go there. Yeah, that'd have been fine. That'd have been fine. More support for the d5 square. That'd have been okay. But it was all about holding that knight at bay. Understood. Now that's another passive move by black. Then this knight exchange, trying to get a piece for free, which understood it's a smart move, and trying to get the queen, hoping to lift that pawn. I mean, lift that knight on e2 to get that queen, and the rook comes into play. Then the exchange. All game, black seems just like a half step behind on what they should have done, and
the queen side castle that was not the right way.
No, castle on the king side is definitely better here, because if you're going to bring activity, this is where your best defense is. I'm moving my hand real quick. Your best defense was on this side of the board because these pawns haven't been moved yet,
and also they're preparing for that side of the board.
Yeah, as you see, the two long bishops are this way. The knight can still swing to the side. The queen can get over here. These pawns haven't moved, so that's their strong pawn structure. You want to bring the attack to this side of the board. That way you can focus in on these weaknesses of these pawns. And if you're going to have limited bishops, I'd rather be limited on the side that I'm playing defense than on the side where my offense really, can't get back and help my king. So next move, queen removes the pin. The caveat, because c5 and d4 are never going to take place, is to open the file of the d file. And then I would immediately exchange off the bishop here, first opportunity, because this is a weak move. This was a bad move because you can't do nothing. You're really able to bust into this side of the board. I'd have taken it right off the board. Don't even wait. Eliminate the bishop pair, but protecting the pawn, playing for a future that might not be there. Once again, trying to push that pawn storm. At this point, when white-black goes again, it might be best to pull the bishop back and come all the way down here, putting pressure on this bishop, being able to draw this knight back, more defense on this side of the board, and defense of the b square. That didn't happen here, so there's the exchange. The rook trying to set up a move here to get to the queen, a blockade. And this is still, a close game, but okay, let's get a little excited and do all that.
Mhm.
So all this basically set up what should be exchanging the knight off of this bishop now. And then once that happens, then you could push this pawn, or even if you captured the pawn, say you captured the pawn and they recapture, then you push this pawn. This bishop's going to fall because it can't move because the queen would be in jeopardy. If you took now, then you give uh, a different ability. I mean, I would exchange it off. Just exchange the material. That way there's no counterplay. Because once that's happened, now this knight's involved, and this bishop has to move. Unless you wanted to trade off your dark square bishop, which is holding down this pinned pawn. And it's kind of a big deal. And, of course, pulls back light square bishop, the least effective of the two at the moment. The least dangerous of the two. Queen is now eyeing down the square, getting out of the pin situation. Still, black's in good shape here. But trading off that bishop was the wrong move. Been better to just push the pawn up to try to alleviate that square, move that knight, start trying to make something happen on this side of the board, getting these rooks over here involved. Slide, push. It's just everything's just too late. Because once this pawn gets pushed and there's an exchange here, then this three squares coming at the queen side, I mean the castle king on the queen side. And once again, as long as this doesn't take, once she takes here, it's over. Because now you can't do anything. You can't. Your own piece is blocking you. You're kind of stuck. So it'd probably been better at that point to just instead of pushing this pawn. I mean, instead of taking this pawn, um, even you know finding a way to push and getting these rooks over here involved and getting this bishop over here, try to exchange stuff off. But this is just too little too late. And after that, ain't nothing can be done. Once this happens, check. And I can't do nothing because of the rook here. Has to give up the queen in order to continue after that check. And we stopped it here because everyone has a bad game. And that's pretty much, there's a lot of moves left, but we're all learning how to get better. And this is one way we can see where we made some mistakes, how can we adjust. Achilles heel has been that Finchetto light square bishop, so we're going to keep working at that. And thank you very much for